Shalom. Shalom. Giving all praise to Yahweh Shem Shai Bashim Kakodash. Giving all praise to Yahweh Shem Shai Bashim Kakodash. Shalom to the hopefully elect out there. Morning. Normally I get up earlier than that. Anyway, I'm going to entitle this video. I want to see where the spirit takes me. I'm going to entitle this video, "This Lake Will Be on Fire." And if you've been watching our videos within the last week and a half or so, we've been going into the lake of fire because there's been a big controversy back and forth with the IUIC, because they said, talking 2 weeks ago, found a video that was put up 5 months ago concerning, the eternal hell, and we maintain that there's no such thing as eternal hell. Hell means the grave. In the Old Testament and New Testament, the only time it describes a fiery damnation that souls are stuck in, let's use the word stuck in, is the book of Luke, and I'll get into that. The book of Luke is a parable about the super rich being over us. Now, IUIC, I remember Bishop Kenai broke it down and he said, this was years ago, he said in the book of Luke, the rich man and Lazarus, that represents the wicked scribes and the Pharisees, and Lazarus represents the righteous Israelites, which you can say that, yes, because at that time, the ones that were on top of the common Israelite were the elite, the elites among the scribes, the Pharisees, the so-called leadership. Now, when you read about Caiaphas, the high priest, he was living in a mansion. He probably had maids and butlers and people wait on. He was like a king. So that position of a priest was the priests were looked up to as like these great spiritual men. They didn't have to work. They got 10% of the Israelites. It was, the shoulder, the agriculture, and the money. Because people say, well, Levites only got paid with the shoulder, the best part of the meat, and the corn, and all that. 10%. They got paid with money too. There's a couple. The first example is when Abraham came back from the slaughter of the kings, the 5 kings, with his, I believe it was 318 servants. So that shows you that Abraham was a warrior. It came back because Lot, I believe the story goes, I haven't read it in a while, I believe they kidnapped Lot. That was the story, but the details, you got to read about it. And he had met up with Melchizedek, which Melchizedek is Yahweh Shai, and it's explained to you by the Apostle Paul, because how did the Apostle Paul know who Melchizedek was? Because Melchizedek told him. Melchizedek is Yahweh Shai. That's why Peter said that Paul's letters, are weighty, because Paul was receiving instruction, one-on-one instruction from Yahweh Shai himself in the spirit. So his eyes were open to a lot of things. So he explains and I may even go into that instead of doing another lesson, Hebrews the 7th chapter. The Apostle Paul broke down the sacrifice, and we're still going to sacrifice in the kingdom, but the Israelites are not going to have sin sacrifice. We're not going to have sacrifice for sin because we're not going to sin, but we're going to have other sacrifices. The Passover, which is coming up tonight, is if you did it, you got an actual lamb, and you did the whole ceremony, because none of us is doing the whole ceremony. First of all, you need a farm, you need farmland, you need I believe ISUPK does it, like down south, there's brothers that do that. But you have to get a lamb. That means you had to own the lambs and you had to grow, you had to breed the lambs, and you had to pick up, you had to know, okay, this one was born on Passover this year, so a year later he's going to be the Passover lamb next year. So you pick out the lamb. The lamb would have to be all white, and you would slaughter the lamb, and that would be done on the 10th day of the first month, known as the Abib in the scriptures. And then, so the lamb was prepared. The preparation started, 4 days, going in the fifth day from the 10th of the first month. So is any of us doing that? I don't know, but most of us not. If there are, you got it. The Lord, see, when you do the Lord, there's steps to the Lord. You got to do. So are we keeping the Passover properly? No. We're keeping it to the best of our ability, and we're rehearsing the righteous acts. That word rehearse in what is that? Judges 5:11. The word rehearse, when you look it up in the Hebrew, the word means to recount, meaning to go back to the laws and the land of drawing water. So that's just my little take on the Passover. Anyway, John Jones beat this guy, Surreal, whatever, from France, and I knew he was going to beat him. I told one of the brothers, I said, if it goes to the ground, it's over quick. I said, the best thing for this Cyril, John, whatever his name is to stay up on his feet and make it a striking thing. But as soon as it goes to the ground, it's over quick. And John Jones, I met John Jones a couple of years back. Very good, personable person. Very good talk. Hey, what's up, man? I talked a few minutes, and I said, I told him to go. I said, you have a good day. I don't want to, hold you up and stuff like that. But anyway, at the interview, he'd been saying, "Oh, I'd like to thank my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ." I mean, that's good for him. That's not good for me, because I wouldn't say Jesus Christ, and that name is repugnant to me. I hope I'm using repugnant the right way, but Jesus does sound so Christian. That's a that's a video for you, Apostle Gabar, Apostle Rhymelove. Jesus just sounds so Christian. Yeah, Jesus doesn't even sound right, man. Doesn't even sound right. His name is Yahweh. See, the thing about the Israelites, the one Westers, all of them should say Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. Put the proper name out, man. Don't wait until you get into you in a hospital for 6 months and you at death's door. Then the Most High, raise you up, and all of a sudden you saying Yahweh and Yahweh Shai. I'm talking about Bishop Nate. He said Yahweh and Yahweh Shai because the Most High brought his ass back from the grave. So he said Yahweh, the Passover, watch it, the 2022 Passover last year. He said Yahweh and Yahweh Shai. Bishop Kanai said Yahweh and Yahweh Shai. And then about a week later, they went back to Christ. So that when you say that, man, it's just like somebody says my name is such and such, and you keep pronouncing it wrong. That person's gonna get mad at you, man. You mean you can't pronounce my name right? But anyway, on to the next subject. And I'm gonna get into this one. U.S. Marine hears about World War III, the gospel, and kingdom for Israel, or it should be the kingdom for the kingdom for Israel, or the kingdom for Israelites. But I mean, this is good. U.S. Marines hears U.S. Marines here, because there's one, I don't know if there was another one that came by. I didn't even watch this video. I watched maybe a minute. So I said, well, let me get up and do like a response to this video. U.S. Marines hears about WW3, the gospel and kingdom for Israelites. All right, so you can, based upon this subject right here, this will make you click, because U.S. Marine, you see the U.S. Marine, World War III. Wow. Anyway, we're gonna listen to some of this. This is why I entitled this subject, this lake will be on fire, or soon be on fire. The lake is the U.S. So we're gonna listen to some of this, and I'm gonna stop and comment on it. I was watching part of Me and the Apostles and the Bishop Sakaram after camp, come back to my crib, eat something. They're usually out, 15 minutes later, they go to their, their cribs. So we get something to eat, and I was watching, I put on, the TV, and I got, through my cable box, you can get YouTube and you can get these different apps. So it turns a regular flat screen into a smart TV. So I went to the YouTube app, and there was a live stream with Bishop Nathaniel, and we're gonna try this. We're gonna try, like I said to Asaph, call a shout out to Asaph because he bigged this up. He said these are elders and this that. So the thing now is we're gonna try to, we're gonna try to. How did this guy say it? And damn, what's this guy's name? I can't even think of the guy's name. My brain is fried. This guy that played in he plays Stephen or Steven in Django. This dude, but he did a movie, Pulp Fiction. At the end, almost at the end of the movie in the diner, he said, "We're gonna all be cool." So, that's what we're trying to do. We're gonna all be cool. So we trying to be cool with, or cooler with Bishop Nate Nathaniel and the IUIC, because they do say a lot of good things. And I was watching the video, and Bishop Nathaniel was getting down. He was going in. He was going in. I didn't watch the whole video. I watched a lot, maybe 20, 25 minutes of it. I caught it kind of in the middle. The apostles and the bishop was there, and they left, but I kept watching it. I watched it for maybe another 10, 15 minutes or so. And he was getting down. He was going into a lot of, I highly recommend that you watch it. I don't know what he says in the whole video. But he was going into scriptures dealing with, dealing with the time of Jacob's trouble. And, he's going into, in other previous videos, he's going into, the guillotines. He did a thing on the beheading. But I believe I could be wrong, but I believe he kind of picked up the spirit from watching us, because we've been doing a lot of videos on the guillotines. And so I don't know, I can't get in his brain, but he's been speaking pretty much in the same spirit that we're speaking, that, he said, watch the video. He said what they went through in Acts, what the apostles went through, we're going to go through the same thing. And he pulled out, 2nd Ezra 15, and 2nd Ezra 15, that's Jacob's trouble right there. 2nd Ezra 16, he went through parts of that. He went through, I don't remember all the scriptures that he hit, but a lot of those scriptures was pretty much centered around what we call Jacob's trouble. And Jacob's trouble really is going to come around the fact that when they push that charagma, there's going to be a big shakeup. They're behind the scenes trying to figure out how do we push the charagma to the whole planet, because there's a lot of people on this planet. Well, not a lot, but there's a number of people outside of the Israelites. I'm talking about the Bible Belt Christians, those Edomites, which is some of them is Jake, a lot of them is Jake. Don't be surprised. down south, the Bible Belt, those evangelicals, they go into prophecy. They think they go around, go down south to them churches, go to the Bible Belt, and them so-called Edomites, because some of them are Jake, they look like Edomite. They go and pray, they read the scriptures, they go and trust me, they watch our videos, they watch our videos, they watch Bishop IUIC videos, they watch I would say they watch the Sakari videos. If you watch GMS or any of the videos, it's going to lead you to Sakari videos, and it's going to lead you to the algorithm, going to lead you to ISPK and Wi-Fi and HODC. So they're watching our videos, and they're mostly talking about this. The proof is Vocab Malone. Every video that he does is about the Hebrew Israelites, mainly the one Westers. So the spirit on us now is we kind of feel it in the air that this Jacob's trouble thing is getting ready to come. So now, another thing I wanted to say, let me do it this way. I wanted to speak on the video, and I want to get a copy. I want tell a brother to get me a copy. I might see it a couple of times, or I might we might all get together and have what is called a watch party. Let me bring this up. Bear me for a minute. I'm about 15 minutes into this video, so I'm doing good. I don't want to make this video too long. Let's wait till it's just want to bring this out. Okay. Yeah, the street speaking we did yesterday. We we saw one of the brothers from ISUPK. He was on a motorcycle. They had camp the same day. So I guess he was coming back from camp or whatever the case may be. But let me see here. Give me a second here. I'm gonna find this. Okay. Raula Yasha Allah Yahweh Shai is coming back. Subscribe to him. He makes short videos, straight to the point videos. What language were they interpreting? This man is the king of telling half truths. So there's a clip. Give me a second. Okay, so this is a clip from the movie that Tariq Nasheed put out. The Maroons, the title Maroons, and I want to get it. He does very good videos. I saw the 1804 video, parts of the butt breaking video. He gets into it. He gets these brothers, sisters that are experts. They got their information together. You know, he's speaking about the Moors. You can't deny the Moors. The Moors played a big major role in Esau coming back into power. That's Revelation chapter 20. They had to take down the Moors, which they were Israelites. Some part of them embraced Islam, and the other part embraced Christianity or being an Israelite. When you read the story of the Moors, there's a body of water called the Iberian Sea, I believe it is Iberian, which the word goes back to Hebrew. Now, if you go to Google and you put Iberian, whatever, they'll tell you it goes back to Hebrew, but they took that out. But I remember years ago they used to say it. So this is more. Oh, the seagoers were the Canaan, the greatest seagoers were Canaanites. So there's a bunch of, and I don't want to show everything. There's a bunch of, okay, the sister right there. All right. Okay, you got the Moorish, I would think. This represent Gad. We were the knights, by the way. That whole idea that knights in armor, that Esau got that from us. We were the original knights. Okay, okay, Seminoles. The Seminoles were, see, they say that the Seminoles were black people. You can say that, they were dark. Most of the Seminoles that I know, they look like he could be a Seminole. He's probably a Seminole. Seminole wore turbans. All right. I don't want to let the thing play. I don't think it's going to be taken down. This is Kaba Khomeini, I believe his name is pronounced. But he goes into a lot of history of the early Americas. So all these clips of them saying, all these people that you saw, the sister, the brother over here, they all said the same thing that they brought with them. Christopher Columbus brought with them. They said black interpreters. Black interpreters. So I would think, what's this guy? Not Trissino, but damn, I keep forgetting this guy's name. It'll come back to me. He was like one of the number one. He was like the number one interpreter. Del Torres just came back to me. He was the number one interpreter, and it says that Del Torres. It says he was a Levite. You know, he was a Jew, but I believe he was an actual Israelite. You know, they might put up pictures of him, a white guy, but you know, Esau whiteizes everything. That whitewashes it. So I believe that Del Torres was most likely a Jake, but he did speak Hebrew. He did speak Hebrew. One of the languages he spoke 5 languages fluently: Arabic, Hebrew, I believe Italian. He spoke 5 languages. So Columbus must have known that we need interpreters. So he must have known that the people on the other side of the world spoke a language. And so he brought this interpreter among not just him. There was more than one interpreter, but he was like a chief interpreter, and he spoke Hebrew. And we know, based upon the book, The American Indian by John Adair, he said they spoke Hebrew. So when they encountered these people on the other side of the globe, they spoke to them, and the people spoke back to them in Hebrew. That's also in the book Lost Tribes in the Promised Land. Very good book. They explain that the tribe of Joseph is over here, and the tribe of this, the tribe of Asher is over here. Brazil is from a Hebrew word, barazal, which means iron. A lot of iron ore in Brazil, and oil and other things. Okay, who is this? Oh, wait a minute. Okay, there's another individual. Okay, so they were able to communicate with Gad and Reuben because they had Hebrew interpreters. These people spoke Hebrew. Why? Because they're the Hebrews. Look at the tents. When we went out to the wilderness, we were living in tents. And these are the Israelites, man. The northern kingdom was already here. Okay, so this is the last part, Tariq Nasheed he makes a statement. You know what I'm gonna do? Let me just let it play. Fair use, fair use, fair use.
To one of the islands, and he brought one of his black translators with him. It's documented that the translator came off the boat, went into the Aboriginal society, and immediately started to communicate with the Aboriginal people there.
And I would think that would be Del Torres. All right. These would be Reubenites, I would think. You see the turban.
That means that there had to have been some type of previous contact for them to understand each other's language. In fact,
so you heard that, right? There had to be. Let me let that play again. Let me go right to it. Let me go right to it again so you can listen to it again.
Started to communicate with the Aboriginal people there. That means that there had to have been some type of previous contact for them to understand each other's language.
Previous contact with them to understand that language. Let me let it play one more time.
Previous contact for them to understand each other's language. That means that there had to have been some type of to communicate with the Aboriginal society, and immediately started to communicate with the Aboriginal people there. That means that there had to have been some type of previous contact for them to understand each other's language.
Yeah, because those people of the Americas were on the other side of the world. They were in the Middle East. Those were the Israelites. 2 Kings 17, starting from the 20, you can read the whole chapter. And of course, 2nd Ezra 13, starting from the 40th verse. And even, small hat, the so-called scholars, historians, if you look it up, go to Google. They tell you what Asareth means, is a Hebrew word meaning another land. And they tell you that the Northern Kingdom came to the Americas. These are small hat scholars that say that. And I did videos on that. So anyway, let's come over here. So I hope you can hear this. The sound is a little grainy. So I hope you can hear it. If you can't hear it, you can watch this video on the pages right here. GMS South Carolina, 08. U.S. Marines hears about World War III, WW3, the gospel, and kingdom for Israelites. So now I remember years ago when we was on 34th Street, we used to go out there every week. They used to have Fleet Week. You had the Navy come, they would dock, in the river, and they would go out on the town, and with their military, fatigues or whatever. And we used to I used to pass the camp all the time. And we used to always have a Jake or two stop by, and they would always say that they're Christians and they read the Bible and they know Revelation. And after we get through with them, they walk with their head down. So a lot of these Jakes that are in the military, they're into the scriptures, man. A lot of them are, Christians, but they're into the scriptures. And there was a point one year where when Fleet Week would come, they would never come around. And I believe that they told them, look, don't walk down 34th Street and 7th. Just don't walk down there. That's what I believe, because for years, every year, a Fleet Week, they would always walk by, and when they would always stop, and we would always get into a conversation. This is long before YouTube. That's how far we go back. Anyway, let's listen. Okay, I'm about a half an hour into this video. I'm doing good. Let's listen to it. I hope you can hear it. Listen up, listen up, listen up.
Around about 30%. What is it? Are you aware that World War III is in the Bible? They prophesied that America, Babylon the Great, be in World War III with Russia. But what was Russia want? In the Middle East, right? But the world.
He said he mentioned America, World War III, and Russia, and then he said, but this will be in the Middle East. Let me bring that back. So he knows the scriptures. He knows that the war is going to be in the Middle East. That's the, the Levant, the Jehoshaphat. All right. You can see he's got a USMC T on.
World War spans the whole globe, right? It can start in Ukraine. And when other nations get involved, if you go by the Bible states, you get involved. When other nations get involved.
He keeps saying the Middle East. Yes, he's correct. It is going to start in the Middle East. It is going to start in the Middle East. Ezekiel chapter 38. Revelation chapter 20, verse 7. They're going to all converge on the camp. Our camp is over there in, the Middle East. Let's listen to a little bit more.
Middle East. That's it. Oh, wait a minute.
See, he thinks it's going to happen in the Middle East and nothing's going to touch Russia or America or England. It's going to start off, as I said, I'm saying it again, it's going to start off in the Middle East, and then it's going to end up with this place becoming the lake of fire. Because he's a little scared. They teach him. They teach him about the scriptures. These military guys, they learn the scriptures too. They read like the Art of War. They'll read these books on strategy. They study Alexander the Greek, and they study various battles and battle strategies. A lot of these strategies that they use in war today, they got it from the ancient warriors. That's what wins battles, strategies. So they teach them about the scriptures. So they're telling them, I guarantee you, they're teaching them in the Marines. I guarantee you, they're talking about, books like Joel, the 3rd chapter, the 9th verse. They're going into Revelation. That was in the movie The Hunt for Red October. It opened and scene, the captain of the submarine, which he quoted, he had the Bible open to Revelation. So the guy, the officer that he reports, and they wound up killing him. He wound up killing the guy anyway. He reports back to the brass in Russia. He looked at the book of Revelation. He said, "Oh, why you got it open to the book of Revelation?" That's very irresponsible for a captain of a submarine, because guess what? The Russian authorities, they read the scriptures too. Watch this. Check out the speech that Putin made recently. He was mentioning about. He said, "Look, we have morals." He said, "Not like America. America is not a moral place. We go into the scriptures. We have traditional marriages. Watch the video." So let's listen on.
That's the Bible states. No, listen. You go by the Bible. Right. That's where it starts. That's where it ends. Yeah, but it don't where it ends. It don't give it end. Yes, it does. It gives the end of nuclear destruction. Go to 2 Peter. Let me read it. Listen.
Did you hear that? He said nuclear destruction. He just came nuclear destruction. Nuclear destruction. That's like you go in the store and say, "Give me a Coke." You get nuclear destruction. You just let it roll off his tongue. And he said, "What? Nuclear what?" Because they didn't teach me that. He doesn't realize that Babylon the Great, I'm pretty sure he read Revelation and came over Babylon. And then what they taught in that war in 92, during the time of Daddy Bush, they were teaching. Remember, we got brothers in the camp that was over there in the Middle East, man. Okay, we got brothers that were in the high-ranking brothers in the military, man. And they would teach them. They would say, like there was one, I forget who said that, but it came out that one guy said he got his men together. He said, "Look, this is the real reason why we're over here in the Middle East, is to get the oil. That's the real reason. Because they teach, we're fighting for democracy and this, that, and the third." One of the generals said, "Look, I'm going to tell you something, I'm not going to lie. We go over here to get that goddamn oil." if anybody, that was long before YouTube. Okay, now I just noticed this, and thank you, Vocab Malone. Aria is still alive, family says. So I'm gonna get into that. That's 3 hours long. 3 hours long. And I heard it first from Vocab Malone video I did yesterday. He put a comment on my page saying I got in touch with the family of Aria, and Aria is still alive. I guess Aria doesn't come around that much. He's up in age. It was told to me, well, from him, that the man that told him, which was a family member of Aria, I believe a nephew or something, he got in contact with the guy. That's how deep this guy is going in. And he was the one that told me. So I thought about it. And I said, well, maybe Aria doesn't come around. So the rumor came out and it spread. But the important thing was this, that we said what we had to say in what we believe that was death. So it's on record that we said good things about Aria. It's on record that General Yohana said good things about Aria. And the reason why General Yohana and Bishop Nathaniel said good things about High Priest Aria, because they remembered him. We used to see Aria every day. Aria would hit, he hit the number and he'll say, Lord, we're going to see this movie. I'm paying for everything. He would pay for everything, man. I remember that. He hit the lotto for a couple thousand. He said, man, we're going to hang out. We would go there, be about 30 of us, and he'll pay for, well, we were getting free because we had somebody in the theater that worked in the theater that used to just go on there. But he used to say, y'all want food, whatever y'all want, drinks, it's all on me. So them brothers remember that, man. General Yohana remember that. Bishop Nathaniel remember that. So they're saying the good things because they remember this man. So let the record reflect that we said good things about Aria. Look, I used to go to Aria's house unannounced. I used to bang on the door. He said, it must be Tahar. And if I needed money, I said, Aria, you played it? You hit it? Did you hit this week? I need $100. And if he had it, he would give it to me. And if I had money he needed, I'd give it to him. We were very close knit. We were literally a family. We were literally a family back then. So let's listen on. So I just noticed this, so I got to get into it. I might do a commentary on this one. So let me bring this back. Because he doesn't understand. He doesn't know what's going on.
No, listen, it's about the Bible. Right. That's where it starts. That's not where it ends.
Yeah, but it don't.
Not where it ends.
It don't give an end.
Yes, it does. It gives the end of nuclear destruction. Go to 2 Peter. Let me read it. Listen.
He said there's nuclear destruction. He said nuclear, because he can't believe these. See, this is why this individual Vocab, he's so obsessed by the One Westers, because of the prophecy. They're afraid of it. These Edomites are afraid of the prophecy. In the back of their mind, they're saying, even though they buck up against what we're saying, in the back of their mind, they're saying, what if this is true? What if this is true?
I'm over here, bro. Come on this side. 2 Peter 3 and 9. Let's read it for him. Yeah, we live right now. Oh, but it's all right. No. Yeah. You need to worry about your security go to you on camera. You need to worry about it. All right, it's all good. I'm not going to look at this.
2 Peter 3 and 9.
Right.
Lord is not slack concerning his promise.
The Lord is not slack concerning his promise.
Some men count
And
slackness,
some men count slackness.
but long suffering to usward.
He's long suffering to us. The us are the Israelites. Not really again. Not willing.
Seeing this guy's eye. What about the Gentiles? My wife is a white woman. Kids are half white and half black. So he ain't gonna be. Trust me, this guy's not right. Trust me. When he went home, back to the hotel or whatever the hell, back to the base, he didn't slip. He didn't sleep. And I hope that Manat Zakbar gave him the, you know, the thing on YouTube, because if that's the case, he's watching all of his videos, he's watching probably some of our videos. His head, he just went to it, he just took him to another place. He just took him to a higher level of understanding. Oh, and look at this. Look at this. That's the spirit. Karma. What is karma? Payback. Karma. Now normally you spell it with a C, but karma means payback.
Read that part again.
And some mankind like this,
Right,
but is long suffering to usward,
right. Go ahead.
not willing that any may perish,
Right.
but that all should come to repentance.
So if the Lord doesn't really want to have to destroy any Israelites, right? But we have to, because you have wicked Israelites. Why you have to regardless? And you have righteous. Go back to Sodom and Gomorrah. Abraham said, "When you destroy the righteous with the wicked," the Lord said, "No, I won't do that." So now we preaching the gospel, and we try to get the righteous from among the wicked Israelites. But the miracle get hit. I'm telling you that. We're not getting. Yeah.
Oh, this is classic, man. He's, you see, but not this Akbar, he just said it like he ordering a cheeseburger. Give me a cheeseburger with pickles or fried onions or whatever. That's how I used to like it. Give me some fried Swiss cheese or whatever. He just said it like you ordering something at a restaurant. And this guy's head is all messed up. His head is all messed up. Let's bring that back. Just look at the reaction of this guy. He's saying things that this man never heard of. Let's see the reaction. I hope you can hear this. Like I said, just you see the minute marker, you know, just watch it, watch along.
Go back to Sodom and Gomorrah. Abraham said, "When you destroy the righteous with the wicked," the Lord said, "No, I won't do that." So now we preaching the gospel, and we try to get the righteous from among the wicked Israelites. But the miracle get hit. I'm telling you that. We're not getting. Yeah, you're gonna. Yeah, well, you may not believe it.
So what did he say if you didn't hear it clearly? Because America's getting hit with the missiles. He said, "We're not gonna." He's tight. I guarantee you, brother. I got a blood pressure monitoring machine. If I guarantee you, if I put it on when he first came up, his pressure was good. His pressure's up, man. His pressure is up.
Because it's not gonna happen. Okay, go ahead.
That's not gonna happen. Who the hell are you? That's not gonna happen. This reminds me of the scene with Neo and Morpheus. And Morpheus says, take the red pill, and I'll show you how deep the rabbit hole go. This is Morpheus right here. This is Morpheus. So I got a new nickname for my brother right here. Manat Zakbar, aka Morpheus. And that's Neo. That's Neo. You know what Neo's doing it right about now? He's throwing up. No, it can't be this way. Welcome to the world of the real. No, it can't be this way. And then he throws up. That's Neo. You should have took the blue pill. That's another topic right there for Apostle Gabar, Apostle Ramlab. You should have took the blue pill, and you go back into Alice in Wonderland. But if you take the red pill, I'll show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. So he's dragging. He done shoved this brother right here. Took a red pill and shoved it down his throat, and he's throwing up all over the place. So let's listen. I'm having a little fun. You got to have fun with this. I'm not Alexander Scorby. Look him up.
But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night.
So it's gonna sneak up on you. Yeah, but that's the day of the end. We're not talking about the end. We're talking about war.
There is no end. There is no end. The end is Esau and Jacob. Esau is the end of the world. I hope he immediately went to the Apocrypha. Esau is the end of the world. So he said the end. That's the end. The end. That's the end. Well, yeah, the end of what? The end of one world and the beginning of another. The end of something, when businesses go out of business, right? There's always a new business that comes up in its place. Boy, this is classic, man. This is classic. This is classic. This is classic. Just look at the guy's face, man.
Go back to Sodom and Gomorrah. Abraham said, "Will you destroy the righteous with the wicked?" The Lord said, "No, I won't do that." So now we preaching the gospel and we're trying to get the righteous, but we're going to do wicked. And America will hit the wicked. I'm telling you that. We're not getting. Yeah, you're gonna. Yeah, well, you may not believe it because you ain't. It's not gonna happen. Okay, go ahead.
For the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night.
So it's gonna sneak up on people.
Yeah, but that's the day of the end. We're not talking about anything about war. We're talking about right now. We're talking about war.
War is gonna bring back in though. I'm trying to tell you that. The war is gonna bring back in,
It is, but not now.
Right, but before it happens, the Lord has a period of time known as the grace period, where the gospel is preached to save those that believe, which are Israelites, like you and me and him, and all them brothers. Okay, go ahead.
In which the heavens should
What do you say? We're not Israelite. We're not Israel, man. He's all messed up. He's all messed up. That's why we know that the majority of our people here in the lake, there's a new thing. I'm calling this the lake. The majority of our people that live in the lake will not make it. But are they going to burn in hell forever? No, they're going to come back to us. If he doesn't make it, if he doesn't come around, which I don't see he is coming around, his head is all messed up anyway. He's probably contemplating suicide or something. He may come back as this man's son.
pass away with a great noise.
You heard that? The heavens shall pass away with a great noise. So what can make the heavens pass away? What can make a great noise? Listen to the rest of it. Go ahead.
And the elements shall melt with fervent heat.
The elements are going to melt with fervent heat. So you have the great noise, and heaven's going to pass away. And the elements are going to melt with fervent heat. I didn't do it. See, you interpret it yet. We read it right out.
Yeah, but you read it, but how do you interpret it?
I didn't interpret it yet.
About what that says.
I'm trying to get you to tell us. What can make the elements melt with fervent heat?
The elements
themselves.
I'm not a scientist. I don't know.
Break fire, right? What's gonna break
I mean, great fire is fire, man.
Yeah, but what's gonna make it? Yeah, but ain't no fire.
Like great fire is fire.
You in the military. You
Fire.
know
You never been to heaven, so you don't know.
No, we're talking about the music on the
Yeah,
earth.
but you never been to heaven.
And
so
the
you don't
elements
know.
are on the earth. You made out of elements. You made out of
Yeah, that's what you believe.
oxygen.
That's what you believe.
H2O.
That's what you believe.
You don't believe that? What are you made out of?
I don't know.
You don't know?
You don't know neither.
We
Yeah, I know you
The Bible
don't.
told. Keep reading.
Man,
bro.
the Bible
You
says
got
you-
playing games. That's all right, though. That's
That
all
thing
right.
been read like 50 times.
Oh, now the Bible is,
You know
now
that.
it's
Come on now.
reasonable, bro.
So the Most High gonna write this book, 66 books, and what is it, 14 books in the Apocrypha. So we're talking almost 100 books, and nobody understands it. You know, this man's all messed up. It took a while for Neo to come around in the movie The Matrix, and eventually he started to believe in himself. He was able to fly and do all this stuff. He began to believe in himself.
The earth also in the works therein
Right.
shall be burnt up.
You heard that? The earth and the works of it therein shall be burned up. Okay? Loud noise, heaven's on fire, heaven.
The Apostle Peter was also a prophet because he's prophesying in 2 Peter chapter 3, starting from the 9th verse, 10, 11, 12. And he's talking about what he sees in the lake of fire, the lake being on fire. He's seeing buildings crumbling, things melting around them, people dying, fire all over the place.
Okay, all right, go ahead. Work this one. Go ahead.
Seeing then that all these things shall dissolve.
Right, knowing that you finding out what the Lord is going to do, the church that He's going to bring,
What manner of person ought ye to be in the holy conversation and godliness?
knowing that the Lord is going to bring it in destruction, and you hearing about it. But the rest of the people don't know, but you know about it, and we know about it. So the Bible said, what manner of person ought ye to be?
What's the topic? The topic is about the destruction of this place. So he's explaining it to him. They're sitting down having a chat, and he's telling them the truth. And this guy's he's bugging the fuck out. Guarantee you his pressure's way up there.
That's right. That's right. You know it. I said, get it right. Right. So it starts with hearing the gospel. Go ahead, brother.
Looking for and hasten unto the coming of the day of the Most High.
Yeah.
Wherein
So
the
we're supposed to hasten and look forward to the coming of our. Yeah.
Now he's thinking about like if there was a bubble thought, whatever you call it, he's picturing Jesus right now in his brain. Yeah, Jesus is coming back. He's picturing Charles Manson coming back on a white horse with all the angels looking white. Now he can really F up his night by saying it's a black man, he's coming back in UFOs. He might just faint. His nose might start bleeding. That's an indication that your blood pressure's up. When your blood pressure gets too high, your nose starts to bleed. So I'm surprised his nose is not bleeding right now.
You know why? Because the track realized you got to look at the criteria right? You were born in America. Nationality is nobody knows that.
Nobody knows that shit. He said you were born here in America, but you're an Israelite. Nobody knows that shit. So why would people say that small hats are the people? Because they're in the land? Our people are, you can see our people are the bad state, man. And we're at the end of we're at the final minutes to this destruction, man. If this guy doesn't get it tonight, if he walks away and he doesn't get it, he's gonna be one of those guys in the Middle East and Saudi Arabia. He's gonna be part of that soil. You know, that's Joel. Was that Joel 2? Joel 2 and 20, is it? He's a 20 or 19. The Northern Army. He'll be a part of that Northern Army because his bread is getting buttered by the USMC. So he's not gonna change his life around and put on fringes on his garment and come and join this elder right here. So he has a decision that he's going to make. Is he going to throw up that red pill and take the blue pill and going back to Alice in Wonderland? And he's going to have to change a lot of things. If he said, I'm going to be an Israelite, okay, well, you got to let your beard grow. You know, if you're eating pork, you can't eat pork no more. There's a whole lot of things you can't do.
Wherein the heavens begin on fire shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat.
The elements being on fire shall be dissolved and melted with fervent heat. Go ahead.
Nevertheless,
even though everything will be dissolved and burned up, nevertheless, what?
we, according to his promise, looking for a new heaven and a new earth, wherein dwelleth righteousness.
So nevertheless, we according to his promise, he made a promise in the scripture that the next world we're gonna live. We're gonna live in it. Wait a minute, but it's gonna be the same planet, but remade in righteousness. Same planet. Always the same planet. If it's a heaven and hell, right? I wouldn't make another. I mean, like, it don't make sense. Right? You got a whole heaven. Why make another? Because heaven is going from the earth. But why? Because it's messed up. You disagree. But heaven's not messed up. Yeah, but the earth is messed up. The law won't it is in heaven. It's going to be done. But heaven can't be too filled. It's billions of people that died before. The Lord will come. Billions of people. Yeah, but guess what? All our relatives that died in slavery that were put and they're going to live on earth in heaven. We're going to rule over all nations. That's the big news. Earth is going to be heaven. Why is that Revelation 11?
He doesn't understand. This is what the Esau does to you, man. It messes your head up. He's thinking about heaven that is sitting on a cloud somewhere. It's the biggest, you look up, see the biggest cloud, heaven is on that cloud, and you got angels up there, you know, cooking eggs. Inside joke. And he thinks that heaven from above is going to come down to earth. No. When it says heaven on earth, it means the order that's in heaven will come on earth, because we're going to get direct communication from Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai on the earth, and we're going to rule over the other nations. And the lake of fire will turn into the biggest lake on the planet Earth, will turn into the biggest desert on the planet Earth. He can't get this. He's a baby in this thing. You done shove a steak down his mouth, and a newborn baby's mouth, when you should have stuck some milk, give him some milk. And he don't, you know, the spirit was on him to do this, but he got some meat. He said, I want some meat. I want some meat. You ain't ready for meat. No, I'm ready for meat. He gave him some meat, and now he's throwing up all over the place.
Because that's what a place where the Lord dwells. But he's gonna bring it to earth.
But we serve him.
We
Why
serve
can't we do
you
all
ain't
that
serving
too?
righteousness, though. But you
Why
gotta
can't we
serve.
do all that too?
You gotta serve in the kingdom. Revelation 11 and 15. Read it, brother. All right. Yeah, I want you in the camera. I want people to see you. That's all right. It's just
See, one thing about this guy, he's sincere. You can see it in his eyes, his reaction. He's sincere. But he just doesn't know. He's a newborn baby. Welcome to the world of the real.
it's the scriptures. It's Isaiah. Read it.
Isaiah, so my thoughts are not.
Isaiah 55 and 8. My thoughts are not your thoughts, because your ways are ways. The prophet you say that it don't make sense. It don't make sense. But his thoughts are not your thoughts. You got to come to his level of thinking.
Not that dude.
The Almighty. He's in one accord with the Almighty. So are we. You got to get this. But if you don't, guess what? All right. Come on, bro. Read it.
Revelation 11.
Hold up, what did he say? He said something about somebody burning in hell. Like I said, you're gonna have to. I don't know how this sound's coming out, but there's a lot of traffic in the background, so it's very muffled. So I hope that's why I keep coming back and saying things. So you know, kind of breaking it down to you. He just said something about hell, right?
Gotta get this. But if you don't, guess what? All right. Come on, brother. Read it.
Revelation 11.
Said something about some. Let me do it this way. Let me see if the captions come up. Okay, let's see if the captions come up. Let's do it this way.
He's in one accord with the Almighty. So are we. You got to get this. But if you don't, guess what?
Revelation 11 and 15. And the seventh angel sounded, and there was great voices in heaven, saying, Kingdom of the world are becoming the kingdom of our Lord.
What else?
Of Yahweh, and he shall reign forever and ever.
So the man, the people say is Jesus, his name is Yahweh Shai, right? He's gonna bring heaven to earth. First, he gotta overthrow the wicked. Then he's gonna set up a righteous leadership. Guess what? In the righteous leadership, you gotta have a beard. You ain't gonna shave your beard. You need to have a beard. You don't need to shave, right? Right. You don't shave. Yeah. That ain't what it means. There are people with order. But like I told you, that just proves you the Lord is gonna bring heaven to earth. No, he didn't want this. Read it again, go to the top. No, he didn't want this.
No. In the form, yeah, in the form.
Okay, you're gonna get a new body.
To save.
You're gonna get a new body. Brand new body.
We're all
With
like,
no limitations.
that's what till you marry your woman. I'm
Right.
just being honest. The
Revelation
Bible says, come and save your body.
It's your girl right here.
Revelation 11 and 15. And the seventh angel sound, and there were great voices in heaven saying, The kingdom of this world are becoming the kingdom of our Lord, of shall reign forever and ever.
So he's gonna set the kingdom of heaven on earth and reign forever and ever. But guess what? We're gonna reign with it. We're gonna have slaves and servants. We'll tell people what to do. They're gonna all have to follow by the Holy Bible. That's bad about it. But the thing is, you gotta repent in order to be a part of the first resurrection. Repent. So you say you active right now. You want to leave right now? All right. Okay, brother. Hey, man. No. You ain't gotta leave. Okay. No, man. No. Okay. So, I know, but you don't want to get in trouble with this. No. Look, man, we don't have no protesting. Okay. Look up on the internet. Who feels like it, right? Look up watching the video. Because there's a lot of souls out there. You gotta get the people. Yeah, do something. There's a lot of something. Oh, that's right. That's right. So you need to repent, man.
You hear that? He said, we gave you a little something. He said, you gave me a lot of something. This is all basic stuff. These scriptures are very basic. But to him, he never heard this before. This to mess his mind up, man. That's why you got to keep pushing them videos out. You got to keep staying on the street. There's not enough of you out on the street teaching, man.
Let's get on one more. Let's get Revelation. Yeah. We got a lot of people watching this thing. Only 52 right now. The YouTube shadow ban. Right? The title is spiritual silence. They don't like it. Yeah, YouTube be shadow banners. Sure, it's all good. They can't stop the gospel. Come on, bro.
Revelation 21 and 7.
Matter if it's shadow ban, no big deal, because guess what? This is only for the elect. You can have 1 million people walk by your camp and stop. Certain people stop and question you, and all those 1 million people that pass by, 1,000 people. If none of them are the elect, what does it matter? Whether you talk to one of them or 5 of them, or the 1,000 of them, or they keep walking. You know, there's this guy. Paul Kersey says, see you walking by, you ain't talking to the people. Yeah, maybe those people ain't stopping because they're not of the elect. Remember, yeah, the Most High set us up to gather the elect so that the ears can go into so our words can go into the ears of the elect, and the Most High activates the elect. You can have people that walk by you for years, and you might get one guy that might be the elect. You might never get the elect passed by you, but the elect might watch you on YouTube. The elect came in through YouTube, not through being on the street. We go on the street because the scriptures tell you to go on the street.
Yeah. He that overcomes shall inherit all things, and I will be his God, and he shall be my son.
Out of our people, those that repent to the Lord, you're gonna be like the Lord's very own son. It's all good. But you still got a chance while the Lord comes to you.
Sound like he said he was saved before. The salvation part means that we're going to be saved from this destruction. Now, the people over there in West Africa, the Ibu and the Benin, which means sons in Hebrew, the people of Benin, the Bantu people, they speak Hebrew. They speak a Hebrew dialect. They're not going to receive salvation. They're not going to be salvation, meaning going to be delivered from this destruction. The only people that's going to receive salvation are the elect of Israel on this earth when the destruction comes. You're going to be saved. The rest of the Israelites that are scattered around the world that is not affected by this, we're going to come down and we're going to gather the Israelites together. And at the same time, we're going to gather the nations together and we're going to lock them up. Now, when we do that, those nations are going to buck up against us, and they're going to realize that we got spiritual power, and they're going to get messed up, and they're going to come to the realization we can't beat these people. We might as well just give it up. Like the Ukraine, the people of Ukraine, the Russians are beating the shit out of them, man, but they keep fighting. And it don't make no sense for you to keep fighting and to lose so many people, because if you kill all the Ukrainian men, guess who's going to come up in there and get the women? The Russians. So you can breed them out, which are the same people anyway, the Edomites.
All right, come on, brother. Now, so the first part says, those who repent, you're going to be his son, right? And, he's going to be your God, and you're going to be his son. What else?
But the fearful
You heard that? But the fearful, those that are afraid to turn back to the Lord. What else?
and the unbelieving
All the unbelievers,
and the abominable
all the abominables. Two men being together is abomination. Go ahead.
and the murderer
Murderers, gangs, all that shit. Right? Regular murderers. Go ahead.
and the whoremonger
Right. Pimp, Adam. Go ahead.
and the sorcerer
Witchcraft. Which is drugs, right? Regular magic, pharmaceuticals. Go ahead.
and the idolater
Right. Idol worship. You worship right peace, Allah, Buddha, the gods of prayer. You're idolater. Go ahead.
and all liars
All liars.
shall have their part in the lake which burns with fire and brimstone,
Yeah.
which is the second death.
No, that's the thing though. The lake of fire is gonna be a miracle. Set on fire. Set on fire by nuclear missiles. That's what World War III is. You already in hell to this. You know why you're going out there. But guess how you gonna get out of here though? You gotta wait for that's right. It's life in there. It is there. So when the Lord, the nuclear missiles gonna come and light the whole place on fire. Then those that repent to the Lord that are elect, they're gonna escape. Cherish. So that's why all the people that they kind of do, they get prepared to come back. Yeah, but there are little right. Because it's so many they think. Before you go like right now, it's people that watch it up, like nobody knows. That's right. That's why. I can't do more things. Because the more technology, you got people watching it. But he wants it to be like that. The scriptures tell you that in the end days, knowledge will be increased. God never free will. No. So God ain't give me a brain. You gotta bring the faith with. They give your body. Right, so he didn't give me free will. But he controls your go to Proverbs. Let me show you. Because you doing the military, Lord, teach you for the foundation of the earth. He picked us to be the Roman prophet. He got a chance. 20 and 24. He give you a chance. But so, why? Everything is for his purpose. Listen to this. You think you got free will? Come on, bro.
Proverbs 20 and 24.
Yeah.
Main glory of the Lord.
You got you out of it, right? Say it again. Come close. You said, I'm honest about it. No, you made one mistake. I've been running for God. You heard that? Say it again. You said, I'm honest about it. I feel like if I go to, yeah, but you know, here's your chance though. Here's your chance. If you have the right attitude, right, towards the Lord, but I'm not making it that I got God. It's just my attitude.
See, he's saying in his mind, he believes it. He believes the elder is speaking. He believes the reader is bringing out the scriptures. So now he wanted to leave about 10 minutes ago, but he can't leave. He's committed to this thing now. So he's messed up. He's stuck between two worlds. He's thinking about his daughter. You know, he just realized that the destruction, the fire, the lake of fire, Babylon is the U.S. He's a part of the U.S. military, so he's all fucked up. So in order for him to really come into this, he's gonna have to change his whole life around. Look, you can't be in the military and be in this truth. You got to be honorably discharged or dishonorably discharged, because in the Marines you gotta keep your face cropped. You got to keep it, so you can't put a fake beard on. Because we're gonna look, that brother's wearing a fake beard, brother. So you're gonna have to do a complete, as his sister said on Kevin Samuels, I did a complete 360. Kevin Samuels said, well, you back to where you started. Oh, I mean a complete 180. Yeah, he got to do a complete 180. He got to turn his whole life around. I'm pretty sure these two individuals right here, they didn't have beards. They were in the world going to work, doing what they did, celebrating Easter, Christmas, and all that nonsense. And when they came into Israel, they grew in this thing, and you got to grow a beard. One of the traits of being an Israelite man is having a beard on your face and not being ashamed of it. Not being ashamed of it. You know, in the beginning, we had brothers come in and they would have the 5 o'clock shadow. I got the beard. People, they look at me funny if I shave my beard off. And now the thing is, people are in the beards. You know, thanks to Rick Ross and them other rappers that rock beards.
No. What did I have? What did I have? Okay, well, you already know. You know the third Tony? Yeah, you can read it. You can read it. The John was better from the Lord. What happened? He got swallowed up. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And then when he repented,
So anyway, I'm gonna say Shalom. You can watch the rest of this. The 16 minutes in of a 90, so you got another 4 minutes of this. But anyway, I'm gonna okay, this is the video, Unshakable Faith in the Darkest Hours. This is the video. It was 4 hours long. But they were getting down, you know. We're going to be a kinder, gentler. We're going to attempt to be kinder, gentler GMS men. There's always something to speak on. There's always something to say. Let's see what else is new. Anyway, with that, I'm going to say shalom.